Hello and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm a homeschool coach and homeschooling mom of twin boys. I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom that you can implement in your life too. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. Be sure to check out my time audit and mindset challenge in the show notes and sign up to my newsletter for lots of cool freebies. And if you ever need to chat, please book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here and I hope you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Are you looking for a new math curriculum? Well, I'm thrilled to introduce our favorite math curriculum to you. CTCMath specializes in providing online video tutorials that take a multi-sensory approach to learning. Favorably reviewed in Cathy Duffy's 102 top picks and the old Schoolhouse crew review, the lessons are short and concise to help your children break down concepts and appreciate math in a whole new way. The lessons are taught the traditional way and not to a test. Each one of the video tutorials is taught by an internationally acclaimed teacher, Pat Murray, who is renowned for teaching math concepts in a simple, easy to understand way and in only a few minutes at a time. Using a multi-sensory approach means having the combination of effective graphics and animation synchronized with the voice of a friendly teacher together with a practical assessment. This three-pronged attack makes learning so much easier and more effective. Even students who struggled with math are getting fantastic results, and ones who were doing okay before are now doing brilliantly. Visit ctcmath.com today to start your free trial. CTC Maths is generously offering my listeners an amazing special. Go to www.ctcmath.com/MLH to get a half-price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. Hi there, Working Homeschool Mom. I'm so pleased that you're joining me today. It's episode 40 of the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. And today I'm going to talk about how to prioritize when everything feels important. So as a working homeschool mom, there's a lot to do. On top of working, parenting, staying healthy, running a home, having a social life, having a relationship, there's the added layer of homeschooling. So how do you prioritize when everything is equally important? I think a good place to start is with your values and goals. Do you actually know what your values and life goals are? If you don't, there are a number of ways that you can find out. Anna Derman-Kornick writes and informs about deciding what you want to achieve in your life and then identifying your values from there. Laura Vanderkam, who did one of my favorite TED Talks, How to Gain Control of Your Free Time, suggests a shorter time frame. She says you can skip ahead a year and imagine that it was really successful. You can write an appraisal of yourself or a family holiday letter where you'll be able to identify what would make a year successful for you. And once again, you'll be able to identify your goals and your values from there. So if I use myself as an example, some of my values are family connection, adventure, abundance, service, health, choice, and knowledge. And I've based these on my desire to have a happy family life, to travel, to live a financially abundant life, to support and help others, to be healthy, to live life on my own terms, and to always continue learning. You might notice that having a spotless house or scrolling social media are not on there. So I'm hoping that you're already getting an idea where I'm heading. The next thing to do once you've got your goals is to break them down. I'm a huge fan of goals. I love them because I think they give purpose to life. And I think it's so very important to be a dreamer, especially if life is tough. Being a dreamer can help to make the difficult times more bearable and, of course, to prioritize what's important to you. I'm all for having big, bold goals as well. I think they're awesome, but you can easily become overwhelmed when you look at them as one big thing that you have to achieve. So when you break them down, they become much more manageable. And I'll use myself as an example again. Back in 2014, I wanted to have control over my work life, and this was related to my choice and family connection goal. At that time, I was working a tough job as an international marketing director for a group of language schools in a big city. I enjoyed the job, I enjoyed the city, but it was demanding and it required lots of international travel. I knew I couldn't quit outright, obviously for financial reasons, so I started to take small steps towards the life that I wanted. First thing I did was I told my boss that we were going to move closer to my mother, and I asked him if I could work online from the new location, which he luckily agreed to. I then asked him if I could be freelance and bill him hourly rather than working 8 hours or more per day as I had done before. During this time, I also found an online teaching job that I did while working my other job. I worked weekends and nights to get my hours and reviews up, which was necessary for to make the most of the teaching platform. I started to reduce my freelance hours and increase my teaching hours. In this way, I could also kind of make the transition easier for my boss because he was able to find somebody else and I was able to do a good handover to them. And then I eventually stopped my freelance job entirely and I now teach online with a schedule that I have 100% control over. Granted, it took me 3 years to make the transition, and it was tough at times. I hated working nights and weekends. I still do. But the knowledge that I was working towards my goal of choice and family connection was always in my mind. And it felt good when I was taking small steps in the right direction, not to mention when I finally achieved my goal. So you've got your goals and values in mind now. Now you need to prioritize them in your schedule. Obviously, you can get really fancy with apps or expensive planners. And if you like that kind of thing, that's great. But I would just say, don't let planning and scheduling become a job within itself. I think a simple Google Calendar or a simple paper planner can work just as well. The important thing is to prioritize what's important. So now you can go back to your goals and see how you can include them in your week. Some people say you should put them in first. I know that's not always manageable for everybody, but that is something to keep in mind. And when you write them down, write them in ink or mark that time is busy and schedule it for the whole year so that you know that you are being serious about achieving those goals. So for me, this looks like 30 minutes to 1 hour of exercise per day. And this is related to my goal of being healthy. 90 minutes for my mastermind group per week. And this is related to my goal of financial abundance. 60 to 90 minutes of homeschooling per day, 4 days a week. And this is towards my goal of family connection and learning, and 60 minutes creating content per day. And this is towards my goal of supporting and helping others and learning as well. So obviously this isn't everything, but you get the idea. So I decide how I want to spend my time based on the values and goals that I have. And it's great because it makes making decisions so much easier. So if somebody asks you to do something, is it aligned to your goals? Is it aligned to your values? Obviously, there are mindset shifts involved. You may actually have a very clear idea about your goals and values, but you might not feel like you deserve to prioritize them. So this is where some mindset work is going to come in. There's a great post on Tony Robbins' site about how to put yourself first. Looking after yourself, following your dreams, and doing what you love are not selfish. In fact, they're the opposite. When you feel stressed and exhausted from giving and giving, you're going to eventually burn out or blow up. But when you fill your own cup, you'll have more energy and patience for those around you. There are some things to keep in mind. It will take practice to feel comfortable and deserving of self-care or me time if this is something that makes you feel guilty or uncomfortable. You can start really small and build up to spending more time on your priorities. This will be easier for you and for those around you to get used to the fact that you are going to be spending time on yourself. And if it's something that you find really, really difficult, there might be some deeper, more serious issues that prevent you from prioritizing yourself. And these could be unpacked during therapy or with some inner work. The Tony Robbins staff writer also speaks about not creating your life around the expectations of others. This is such an important point because I know that I, as a classic people pleaser, have done so many things I didn't want to do to make others happy, and it makes me resentful and regretful if I think back to those times. Who wants to live a life like that? So when you think about your goals and values, be sure that they're yours and not colored by what other people think you should be doing. Once again, I've done that a lot. You might also need to set boundaries for people who take and take but never give back. And it can be hard at the beginning, but it will become easy with practice. I love what Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School says. She says a boundary is a personal request with a personal consequence. So she uses the example of, if you don't stop shouting, I'm going to leave. And if you look at it like that, it seems so much easier, right? Because all the emotion is taken out of it. And you might even have to cut people out of your life who are holding you back or who are not in alignment with your goals and values. Once again, not easy, but it's definitely necessary if you want to be able to prioritize what's really important to you. So lastly, you can prioritize with math. So I do so love doing the math with things that seem difficult or overwhelming. But let me tell you what I mean. I know it sounds strange. In order to figure out how to find the time to do what's important to you, you need to know where your time is going. You know how I love a time audit. So by calculating how you spend your time or what you spend your time on any given day, you'll be able to figure out if you're doing what you want to do. And you might discover that, for example, you spend 1 hour a day scrolling on Instagram. Very easy to do. This hour could easily be replaced by working out, meeting a friend, or whatever aligns to your particular values and goals. As Laura Vanderkam says, there are 168 hours in the week. So even if you sleep 56 hours a week, work for 40 hours a week, work in your home for 20 hours a week, and homeschool for 20 hours a week, that still leaves you with 32 hours a week to do other things. And you could choose a few of these hours to make sure you're doing what you want and to prioritize what's important to you. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Drop me a DM on Instagram or post on the Working Homeschool Moms support group over on Facebook. And let me know what resonated the most with you. It would also be great if you could rate, review, and subscribe, or share the podcast with a working homeschool mom who might need it. It's my mission to support as many working homeschool moms as possible. Until next time, take care. Hello and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm a homeschool coach and homeschooling mom of twin boys.